A day in Barron Trump's future. Billionaire tech genius. The sun hadn't yet risen over the glittering spires of New Manhattan, but Barron Trump was already awake, his mind humming like the quantum processors that powered his empire. At 35, he was no longer the lanky teenager who'd lingered in the shadows of his family's legacy. He was now the world's youngest trillionaire, the architect of Trump Tech, a conglomerate that had redefined artificial intelligence, space exploration, and human augmentation. His life was a symphony of ambition, innovation, and unrelenting drive, conducted from the penthouse of Trump Tower 2.0, a 200-story marvel of crystal and carbon fiber that pierced the clouds above the city. Barron's morning began at 4:30 a.m., not because he needed to rise early, but because he thrived on outpacing the world. His bedroom, a sleek expanse of obsidian walls and holographic displays, responded to his presence. As he stirred, the room's AI, affectionately named Melania after his mother, activated. Soft ambient light bloomed, mimicking a sunrise over the Slovenian Alps, while a gentle hum of classical music, Vivaldi, his favorite, filled the air. "Good morning, Barron," Melania's voice purred, smooth as silk but with a touch of her namesake's accent. "Your vitals are optimal. Cortisol levels are low, and your neural activity suggests peak cognitive performance. Shall I prepare your schedule?" Barron swung his legs out of bed, his bare feet touching a heated floor that adjusted to his body temperature. "Run it," he said, his voice low but commanding, a tone that carried the weight of someone who'd spent years bending the world to his will. A holographic projection materialized before him, a 3D calendar swirling with appointments, data streams, and real-time analytics. Today was a big day. A board meeting with Trump Tech's quantum computing division, a virtual summit with the Martian Colony Authority, and a gala to unveil his latest innovation, a neural interface that promised to merge human consciousness with AI in ways previously thought impossible. But first, he had a personal ritual to attend to. Barron strode to his private gym, a cavernous space equipped with gravity manipulators and adaptive resistance machines. His workout was a blend of old-school weightlifting, his father's influence, who'd always preached the value of physical strength, and cutting-edge biofeedback training. Electrodes embedded in his skin monitored muscle activation, while a heads-up display in his augmented contact lenses provided real-time metrics on his performance. He pushed through deadlifts at 600 pounds, his genetically enhanced muscles barely straining, then transitioned to a virtual sparring session with an AI opponent modeled after a young Mike Tyson. The AI landed a few simulated jabs before Barron knocked it out with a precise uppercut, grinning as the hologram flickered and reset. Post-workout, he stepped into a hydrotherapy chamber, where jets of mineral-infused water and targeted ultrasound waves massaged his body, optimizing recovery. Melania's voice chimed in, "Your protein synthesis is at 98% efficiency. Would you like your usual post-workout meal?" "Make it quick," Barron replied, toweling off. A drone whirred into the room, delivering a tray with a lab-grown steak, kale infused with nanonutrients, and a glass of his proprietary nootropic blend, a formula he'd personally developed to sharpen focus and memory. He ate standing up, scanning a live feed of global markets on a wall-sized screen. Trump Tech's stock was up 3.2%, but a rival firm in Singapore was gaining traction with a new quantum encryption protocol. Barron made a mental note to acquire them before the week was out. By 6 a.m., he was dressed in a bespoke suit woven from carbon nanotubes, its fabric shifting subtly to reflect the light, giving him an almost otherworldly aura. His tie, a deep crimson, was a nod to his father's signature style, though Barron's was embedded with microsensors that monitored his vitals and relayed them to Melania. He stepped onto his private elevator, which doubled as a mobile command center. As it descended, holographic displays projected updates from his global operations, a fusion reactor prototype in Dubai, a neural network training facility in Seoul, and a mining operation on the moon's far side. The elevator opened into Trump Tech's headquarters, a sprawling campus within the tower that housed 50,000 employees and a dozen AI superclusters. Barron's presence was electric, employees straightened as he passed, their augmented reality glasses flashing with personalized greetings. He ignored most of them, his focus on the quantum computing board meeting. The boardroom was a marvel of design, its walls made of transparent graphene that offered a 360-degree view of New Manhattan's skyline. The table was a single piece of lab-grown diamond, etched with circuits that doubled as a data interface. Seated around it were 12 of the world's sharpest minds, quantum physicists, cryptographers, and AI ethicists, each hand-picked by Barron himself. "Talk to me about Project Q-Star," Barron said, leaning back in his chair, his blue eyes scanning the room like a predator sizing up prey. Dr. Elena Voss, his chief quantum engineer, stood. "We've achieved a 99.7% coherence rate in our latest qubit array," she said, gesturing to a holographic model of a quantum processor. "It's stable at room temperature, which means we can scale it for consumer use. We're talking quantum laptops in every home by 2035. Barron nodded, his mind racing through the implications. "And the security protocols? If this leaks, every hacker from here to Beijing will be knocking." "We've integrated a fractal encryption layer," Voss replied. "It's theoretically unbreakable, even by another quantum system." "Theoretically isn't good enough," Barron said, his tone sharp. "I want it tested against a simulated attack by our red team. Full resources, no limits. If they crack it, we start over." The room went silent, the weight of his words settling like a storm cloud. Voss nodded, unfazed. She'd worked with Barron long enough to know his standards were unrelenting. The meeting continued for an hour, with Barron dissecting every detail, latency issues, thermal management, even the aesthetics of the quantum chip's casing. By the end, the team had a clear directive: deliver a prototype in 3 months or find new jobs. At 9 a.m., Barron transitioned to the virtual summit with the Martian Colony Authority. He donned a neural headset, and his consciousness was projected into a digital conference room orbiting Mars. The avatars of the colony's leaders, governors, scientists, and engineers, greeted him warmly. Trumptecha's automated construction drones had built their habitats, and Barron's company was now their primary supplier of oxygen scrubbers and radiation shields. "Mr. Trump," said Governor Lynn, a wiry woman with a scar across her cheek from a micrometeorite strike, "we need to triple our drone fleet to meet the 2030 expansion goals. Can you deliver?" Barron leaned forward, his avatar mirroring his movements. "I can deliver, but it'll cost you. My new drones are 30% faster and can operate in dust storms. I'll need a 50% increase in your rare earth mineral exports to cover it." Lynn hesitated, then nodded. "Deal. But we want a tech transfer on your AI navigation systems." Barron smirked. "You can have the drones, but the AI stays proprietary. Take it or leave it." They took it. Negotiations were Barron's forte, a skill honed by watching his father dominate boardrooms and political arenas. By the time the summit ended, he'd secured a $200 billion contract and a foothold in Mars' burgeoning economy. Lunch was a brief affair, a nutrient-dense shake consumed while he reviewed data from his lunar mining operation. The moon's helium-3 deposits were fueling Trumptecha's fusion reactors, and a new drilling bot had just uncovered a vein twice the size of previous estimates. Barron sent a quick directive to his lunar team: ramp up extraction and redirect the surplus to his European facilities. The afternoon was reserved for R&D. Barron descended to level 88, a restricted lab where his neural interface project, codenamed Synapse, was being developed. The lab was a sterile white cube, its walls lined with quantum servers and neural mapping arrays. Dr. Raj Patel, the project lead, greeted him with a nervous smile. "We're ready for the demo, sir." Barron slipped on a sleek headset, its electrodes syncing with his brain's electrical patterns. Instantly, his perception expanded. He could see the lab's data streams, billions of calculations flowing like rivers of light. He focused on a test program, a virtual chess game, and moved a pawn with a thought. The system was instantaneous, seamless. He played a full game against an AI in under a minute, winning with a checkmate he'd calculated 3 moves ahead. "It's good," Barron said, removing the headset. "But it needs to be intuitive for the average user. My grandmother should be able to use this without a manual." Patel nodded, scribbling notes. "We'll simplify the interface. Maybe a voice-guided onboarding." "Do it," Barron said. "And I want a consumer version ready for the gala tonight. No excuses." The gala was the evening's main event, held in Trump Tower's grand atrium, a soaring space with a retractable roof that revealed the stars. By 7 p.m., the atrium was filled with the global elite, tech moguls, heads of state, and celebrities, all eager to see Barron's latest creation. He arrived fashionably late, descending a floating staircase in a new suit that shimmered like liquid gold. The crowd parted as he moved, their whispers a mix of awe and envy. On a central stage, Barron unveiled Synapse. A volunteer, a famous actress, donned the headset and navigated a virtual world projected for the audience. She painted a digital masterpiece, solved a complex math problem, and even felt a simulated breeze, all with her mind. The crowd erupted in applause, and Barron allowed himself a rare smile. This was his vision, a world where human potential was limitless, powered by his technology. As the night wound down, Barron retreated to his private balcony, a glass of 50-year-old scotch in hand. The city sparkled below, a testament to his family's legacy and his own relentless ambition. Melania's voice broke the silence. "Congratulations, Barron. Synapse trends are dominating global feeds. Shall I schedule a follow-up with the board?" "Tomorrow," he said, taking a sip. "Tonight, I'm thinking." He leaned against the railing, his mind already racing toward the next frontier. Mars was just the beginning. There were asteroids to mine, stars to reach, and a universe to conquer. Barron Trump, the boy who'd once been a footnote in history, was now writing its future, one audacious day at a time.